Today, from any one of 22 different saunas, we sauna talk from the Great Northern Sauna Village at Malcolm Yards in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. The Great Northern Sauna Village is a social and therapeutic experience hosted at Malcolm Yards. Visitors can immerse themselves in sauna culture by interacting with various thermacultural traditions and connecting with local sauna companies and builders. During 60 to 90-minute steam sessions, guests can explore various types of traditional wood-fired saunas. These include barrel, mobile, and backyard units, tents, and even floating saunas, and a new shipping container event sauna for 20-plus people. All this while experiencing multiple forms of heat, steam, and aromatherapy with the cold contrast therapy of winter, air, and snow. The numbers speak for themselves, 22 saunas from over a dozen Saunapreneurs. Some who I've actually known, supported, and encouraged from back in the day when sauna in the public domain, even here in Minnesota's sauna country, was fringe and not so enthusiastically embraced as it is today. You can see and feel the sauna glow, and as you listen along, you will be able to catch the spirit from a few of the people behind the scenes at the Great Northern Sauna Village. The event is 3 long weekends, and here we catch up with the folks today, snap dab in the middle of the event at week 2. It's on a chilly gray Saturday afternoon. Those interested in attending can catch the event during its last weekend, next weekend, if you're listening to this in time. Tickets are a reasonable $40 and available via the link supporting this podcast on saunatimes.com. We start off this episode with Shaylin from Superior Saunas, the mayor of the Great Northern Sauna Village. We meet up with Darren from Urban Wing, Jesse from Deep Wave, John Peterson from Superior Saunas, formerly 612 and Stokeyard. We visit with Nomad Phil, Nomad Saunas, the Barrel Sauna Company, Excelsior Saunas, Jim, just a great guy and great people emerging in the space of sauna building, Matt from Superior Saunas, and a few other selected guests along the way. So wherever this podcast may find you, I think you'll enjoy getting to know what is happening in this region, the boldly self-proclaimed sauna capital of North America. Here is where you'll find open arms, steam billowing, endorphins rushing, and cold water plunging. This show is brought to you by the Sauna Times Public Sauna Map. The Public Sauna Map is free for you to use and click around, and hopefully give us a suggestion as you click around. If you know of a really great public sauna that is not on the map, drop us a line right there on the website. You can share your favorite public sauna, and we'll get it added in. Really awesome for me to travel around and use the map to know where to go when I'm ready for some good sauna action. So to get to the public sauna map, just go to saunatimes.com, and right up at the top, sauna map. See you at one of these, hopefully down the road. Okay, so we're literally on the sauna bench, and actually these are the best sauna talks, is when we're literally on the sauna bench. And I'm with Shaylin. Shaylin, if you could introduce yourself for the listeners.
Hi, I'm Shaylin Crutchley, and I'm now the president and CMO of Superior Sauna. And I get to be part of, really launching into these new thermaculture events. And this year we are sitting at Sauna Village. Our second year of doing this together with the Great Northern, and I have the unofficial title now of the mayor of Sauna Village,
right.
Which is quite fun.
And that title is irrevocable because you earned that title last year. And it came together really quickly last year. Mm-hmm. And there was some magic involved in doing that. And I want to speak to that magic. But beforehand, I want to talk about the family. Like your brother and I came last night and was greeted by a very warm-hearted familiar face who turns out to be your mother, who was working but behind the scenes there at the merch table. So tell me about your family and who's a part of it, and maybe who you wish were here with us.
Yeah. So it's been a fun journey. I spent many years in my early part of my career working in corporate roles. So I spent about 18 years between two very large companies, leading new brands, new experiences, etc. And lived in New York for a while, and moved back when my dad was diagnosed with cancer about 6 years ago. And it's myself, my brother, and my mother now. And when I moved back, we made the decision that we just need to be close to family. There was just some really serendipitous things happening around, and I think it's all for a reason. And I spent my whole adult, and my brother included, we kind of moved to different parts of the globe. I was an exchange student in Australia in high school. I traveled the world, and then I continued to kind of be very independent in my early adult years, and got married, had a couple kids.
And that was in New York?
And actually, my son was born in Minneapolis or St. Paul, and my daughter, who is now 7, was born in Connecticut when I was working out in New York. But yeah, so our families kind of not separated, but we went in different directions. And then when my dad got diagnosed with cancer, it really was a wake up call of, what am I doing all this for? What, and also what is my purpose, and the talents or the things, the gifts that I've been given or that I've learned and developed over time. I was doing really fun things, and I loved my job before, so it's not to speak negatively about the experiences that I had, but it really was a wake-up call of, how do I want to live the rest of my life, and what is truly important to me. And so fast forwarding to this very moment, now my brother and I get to work together. He is a very talented builder. I didn't understand really how advanced he was in what he was doing. And the same thing for him. I was working in a corporate role, went off to college right after high school. He chose a different route, and so he has respect for me and what I do, but equally so, it's really fun now to support one another and see each other thrive.
Amazing, yeah.
But that was all because of sauna. So I was in a position last year to have a little break in between a previous role, and I took the time over the summer to just be with my family, which, at 38 years old at the time, was such a gift. Even though many would look at, getting laid off or having, what the world has been going through with COVID, it was an opportunity for me to really reconnect.
And there's a lot of anxiety through COVID, and a lot of anxiety out there about what is one's day job, what is one's place in their career, and financial anxieties and stuff. And to be able to kind of suppress that and enjoy the moment to be with your family and take a pause.
Yeah, it's really special. And the other thing too, and I believe in last year when we did a recording together with David, who's the CEO of Superior, when we all were kind of coming together, there was some really magical moments of realization of our purpose, and really being able to choose who you work with too in your life. Yeah. And being surrounded in community with people who are authentically wanting to be here because we see the change it can be for people. Right. And I mentioned this before, but my dad suffered from bipolar, manic depression, seasonal affective disorder, especially in the depths of the winter. And I really truly believe, had he been exposed and had our family been exposed to sauna at an earlier age, my whole life would be different. And not that I regret how my life has come to. I'm very, I feel very lucky and very fortunate to have gone through some of those, even challenging experiences as a young adult or as a child. But I look back and I go, man, my dad could have lived differently and could have felt differently. I mean, he would go to the tanning beds during the wintertime just to feel some sense of heat and relief, and to let his mind wander to the tropics of Jamaica, and that's what he did to his body. Yeah. And, fast forward, he died of cancer. I mean, I'm not going to lead it to tanning beds, but, he desired that sense of just, connecting with his body, connecting with heat. And this is just such a natural, beautiful form that's both mentally and physically rewarding.
Do you feel his presence? Do
Oh.
you and Justice feel his presence
Oh, for
on the
sure.
bench?
And, you know, we're sitting here at Sauna Village right now. There's 22 saunas on display, a variety of different formats. But what brings a lot of pride to our team and now our family is that the event sauna that's set up this year is out of a 20-foot container, which you've inspired from years and years of planting seeds and lighting the torch and passing that flame to other people to see and feel the excitement of what sauna is. And that sauna has a little tiny eagle up in the left-hand window, and that's my dad. Like he always said, he was obsessed with eagles, and he goes, "Well, someday, now every time you see an eagle when I'm gone, you will think of me." And absolutely, do we feel that? And not only that, on the inside of the container has 200 starlights that were hand drilled, little tiny pin lights, and it depicts the location from where my ancestors, so my brother and I's our ancestors from Norway. And last year at Sauna Village, when we met David, we talked about wanting to go back to Norway and saunaing, you know, throughout Scandinavia and experiencing that firsthand. But we said we specifically want to go to this part because we just want to see where our family was from. And he goes, "Well, show me that on a map." And we zoomed in, and then he's like, "Wait, zoom out." And kid you not, David's family is from the other side of that mountain, within miles of where our, you know, founding, like people, it just blew our minds. So the star pattern inside of that sauna is from 300 years ago, depicting what the stars look like from the tip of that mountain in Norway, the night that that Sauna Village launched. Like
Cool.
you know, so like we
Beautiful.
look up at those stars, those, you know, now, you know, not real stars, but stars that are very significant to us, and also makes it feel very special to be here, to be surrounded in community, to watch these other small business creators and people who are, you know, we've got a nurse practitioner here who's, you know, doing this not only for her own benefit that she feels, but also as a new form of giving that health benefit to others.
So there's a lot of that. You know, there's a lot of spirituality to that. You know, that's number one, and I think there's a lot of also an ability that you have about like connecting these. This was fragmented before the Sauna Village last year, and I think another element of your skill set and your ability is to bring in this fragmentation of many people doing saunas in their own world into one place, into a village, and coming together with this common interest and vibe, yet also, you know, behind the curtain, rewarding people economically for the time investment to be here. So could you speak a little bit about this year specifically, where we're sitting? You mentioned 22.
Yeah.
22 saunas.
Isn't
I
that
mean,
cool?
I don't think this is, I think this is on a scale that I would say certainly at least rivals, if not surpasses what could be happening in Scandinavia or Finland right now.
Well, I
in
can't,
terms
I
of
mean,
numbers and people.
when you look at just the last couple years, what has changed? You know, we really are turning into the capital of North America for sauna businesses. And, you know, just in the last year, there's been over 15 new mobile operations that have popped up just in the city of Minneapolis alone. Plus, we're looking at new brick and mortar locations that are dedicated to sauna and cold plunge and that
breaking
lifestyle.
the barriers of legislation, and rules and limitations.
And I wouldn't even call it breaking. It's partnering and starting to build partnerships with the local governments, because it's brand new. It's the wild, wild west in the United States, because we just didn't know.
Yeah.
And so bringing those partners along and bringing the city of, in our case, city of Minneapolis, they have been great co-conspirators, but they didn't know what it was before.
Well, they were following rules that had been established from the 1970s and stuff, a place of ill repute. We've talked about this before on other episodes. I mean, how they're classified is like limiting in the neighborhoods where they're allowed, much like, I don't know, like strip clubs and stuff. Yeah. Because they didn't know how to classify.
And I think because there wasn't the demand, there wasn't as much of a need, why would they spend time and hours of their government time redefining that legislature or redefining those protocols. So thankfully, due to your work as well as the leadership that John brought to the table, John Peterson, he really worked and worked closely with the city to make those, to really come up with a plan that was a win-win on both sides. So now we're working with the Parks and Rec Department. We're doing like different rev share trial programs where it's a win-win on both sides. It gets people into their parks during an otherwise not, trafficked part of the year. And so they're seeing a lot of excitement, and it's all grounded in building health and wellness for people.
Absolutely. It gets back to the core of what you were saying earlier about, getting people on the bench and feeling, like this kind of calm and all of these attributes that we love about this. And it does get contagious really quickly. And we often draw parallels. Like, what is this sauna movement? We talk about the rise in interest of yoga, like 20 years ago.
20 years ago, absolutely.
And I think the craft brewing analogy from a creative entrepreneurial standpoint is relevant, but it's sure a lot more healthy than drinking alcohol.
Oh, for sure. And at the end of the day, what I kind of come to the table with is we're all better together. So building this community, bringing in these other now Saunapreneurs, we call them, is really we can learn from one another and we can craft a vision that there's enough pieces of the pie. There's enough neighborhoods, just like coffee shops and different street corners. There's enough space in this market throughout the United States and beyond where it doesn't need to feel like competition. It's just giving a space for, small business owners or those who are looking to kind of shift their mindset to do something a little bit more purpose-driven. I think there's enough space for everybody. And what's fun is that we're a cast of characters. We've got builders, we have, yogis, we have massage therapists, we have breathwork practitioners, we have former veterans. Like, we have some amazingly talented, gifted, but truly good-hearted people that are in this to help others. And that's my whole mindset coming into this space, is that there's enough room. I think it would be nice if we carved out spaces so we know, hey, when somebody comes to us at Superior Sauna and they want to build a custom sauna, we will look to see if we are able to take that on. But ultimately, we want to supply the best materials, the best, facilitate a conversation and bring in other practitioners to get the customer what they want. And that might mean I'm, looking at it kind of like setting up Angie's List, right? So we are looking for the best skilled, if somebody wants a barrel sauna and they want to do it custom and it's not something that we can send them a kit in the mail, we can put them and partner them with a very skilled group of builders here in Minneapolis that's growing and doing some amazing things. We've got, Darren with Urban Wing doing these lightweight, crazy, new, innovative saunas. And when somebody's looking for something that is more affordable, but effective and also super fun, like, we can point them in the right direction, but we also can, sell them a kit that we have too. But at the end of the day, it's about building like happiness for people, no matter what they are.
About being an information source, and not everything has to be reduced to a sale, it's more of a service.
Right, and that's where the whole Thermaculture programming is really planting seeds out in the market, just to give education and building awareness. And making sure that people are seeing it too as not just something that abides by the Finnish set of rules. I respect the heck out of Finnish sauna. I think it's amazing. Spent time in Estonia now. Next trip is hopefully to go to Finland as well. But there are many different forms of thermacultural, like bathing techniques and ways of engaging in sauna. And I think we just want to be building more of that knowledge and sharing that with a diverse range of people. My husband's Jamaican. He grew up in Wisconsin, but like his family did not grow up with sauna. And for us and my children now, like it makes, and he's latent onset type 1 diabetic, like we sleep better at night because it's not, his blood sugars aren't spiking all over the place. We go 2 days after sauna with restful sleep. Wow. So you think about all of the, with black women and men who suffer, especially if you look statistically at the diabetic population, like think if we could just plant seeds and just let people know that there's another way of healing that doesn't require going to the doctor, doesn't require a whole new form of like medicine. Like this is nature's medicine at its simplest. And we've kind of lost our way. for how many generations to, over technology, and not that I'm opposed to any of those things, but there's just something so simple and so special about this that you don't need to be a doctor or, have a lot of money to enjoy sauna.
Yeah, right.
There is different forms on how you can experience heat in community by participating in these, experiences that we have. But also, we've got new tent saunas popping up. You can take that anywhere, or you could have that as your permanent backyard solution, and it's an amazing experience.
Totally. And I was going to reference that. Shaylin, this idea of climbing the good sauna ladder kind of a deal, and the entry doesn't have to be like buying a car. Like we can enter into this experience affordably, and that's the thing. Like they say, the best saunas are the ones that get used.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, super. So this is such a great event, and you are such a great speaker. I'm thinking of things to ask you, but you've rolled through about 5 of my questions with your own talking through this on this wonderful day, this January day in Minnesota with the Sauna Talk.
Yep.
22 saunas here.
Yep.
And we're going to hopefully stay with us those listening. Shaylin is going to ambassador the introduction with a couple other Saunapreneurs here at this event, so you can get a flavor, those listening. We're going to have some great photos along with this post. But Shaylin, do you want to take us out? Any final words? Is there something you want to ask me to ask you, or some other bits to either the Sauna Village or what you're up to next?
One thing I want to call out, I'm really thankful for one, the Great Northern has been our, lead producer of this festival. And we have been gifted the opportunity to share that and have this platform to share that with Minneapolis and hopefully inspire other cities around as well. We do think we want to take this on tour, so we'd love to go to other cities and to help facilitate and help give some guardrails around what can make a safe experience, what can be an inclusive experience for other parts of the world or throughout North America. But I'm also going to ask, too, for people to submit, new ideas, new forms of thermic bathing traditions that you think are misunderstood or underrepresented. We want to be bringing in different practitioners and have, different workshops. We want to go through thermaculture guide training and have certification similar to a yoga certification that isn't just looking at one single-minded way of this industry, but is really taking a broader blush at it.
A more holistic approach to different. There is no right way to sauna.
There is no right way. I think it's just about the experimentation of it. Obviously, as long as you've got your Holy Trinity, I think those are the things that we'd say really are the heightened, the best parts of sauna. But there's so much yet to learn. I haven't been able to experience sauna in Mexico or Latin American cultures, and it's exciting because there's still so much to learn, but also there's so much more to feel. And at the end of the day, if we can feel more connected to ourselves and more aware of the impact we're making on others. That's why I want to do this.
So many things to say. I got 3 of them on my mind. So Shaylin references the Holy Trinity, and really sauna is heat, steam, ventilation, right? People can get very pedantic about any of that stuff, but if you really kind of want to distill it, and if you're at a cocktail party or sitting at a bar, and those listening to this are certainly sauna fans, and that's sort of what we've come up with is a very clean way of explaining this practice. Is what is sauna, what is not sauna? Well, it's a form of heat, and you're able to throw water on rocks, create steam, and we want to have good ventilation in our hot rooms, and that's the foundation that Shaylin was alluding to there. And then the other thing that I think was really cool, and how you got out, how you teased that out, is about this idea of it need not be from one country in one place. And thermic bathing, if we want to call it that, is universal and is worldwide. And getting to know where you are in that extreme of temperature in that space is really a powerful thing. And whether it's sitting through a hole in the ice or sitting on the bench, it's like every body is different. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. And so being able to tune into where you are, and so much in our, and now you got me on the soapbox, but so much of our society today is about numbing ourselves. You know, I was just at CVS yesterday. Julia sent me in to look for something. I couldn't believe it, all the lotions and potions. I mean, it's just...
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, you know, and here we have the simplest lotion and potion known to man, you know, like you just get on the bench and you sweat and you hydrate, and it's a natural mystic.
Right, but I think because to so many it's so new, or because their experience is associated to, you know, a gym sauna or a hotel sauna where it says no water here.
Right on.
And you've got people in there with their gym shoes and, you know, on their phones having conversations. You know, I think it's reintroducing it in a way that makes it feel approachable, but also gives permission to challenge your mind and your body. I never thought that I would do cold plunge. Like, I am even going to the ocean, which I love the ocean. I used to surf when I was in, you know, high school, living in Australia, and I love the ocean. But that first, like, that first breath of that jolt was almost too much, and I didn't see the enjoyment of that. I more like, I kind of push and struggle through it.
Yeah.
And until John had me do, I call it my breathwork doula when it comes to like cold plunging, until I was able to breathe through it and transition my way into this Zen state of comfort. I was afraid.
Well, there's that line, when you surrender, you win, and I love that. It's like when you give in to that, like, and because for me, I'm with you. Like these people that get in their car and they drive to Lake Harriet and they get their towel and they jump through a hole in the ice. I have a lot of respect for that, because when I'm in the hole in the ice, my mind is like, okay, how many steps is it back to the sauna bench?
Right,
you know, and to have that comfort level of knowing the thermal extreme is waiting for me.
Right.
But I find myself there with surrendering to that space.
Well, and what's amazing is that in that surrender comes this like reward of true satisfaction of self.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I just did that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like winning a race, or, you know, getting an A on that, you know, exam, or finishing your degree in college. Like, there's this pride that comes out of it. But then the next time you go to do it, you're like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it feels good afterwards.
And it's there wherever you want to meet it. It doesn't have, there's no clock, there's no gold star for the 2-minute, 38-second protocol, because that's when your brown fat is optimized. And I mean, we just kind of do it by feel, and that's that's not found at a CVS or a Walgreens, you know.
And I hope that people can watch some of the content from this experience too, and hopefully many of you have already experienced it firsthand yourself, but we've got some amazing videographers and talented photographers who are trying to capture these little mini moments. And some of my favorite moments is after the sauna, and they go do a, you know, cold bucket over the head, and you see that initial jolt of like and then like a pause second in between, and then this sigh of like pure relief, but the smile that comes upon. And like, that is the most rewarding thing for me to observe and to see, because it is like something is released. This, you know, barrier or whatever you're holding back from, like this release. That's why I will tell you, I do not make as much money as I used to in my corporate role. I am not, you know, driving a fancy car anymore. But at the end of the day, I am so fulfilled by what I'm able to now be part of bringing to other people, that it's really changed my whole mindset and what my purpose is here.
Right.
And I still have a lot to learn. I'm sure, you know, I'm learning more technical skills and more build skills, as well as how it scientifically is helping our bodies and our minds. But I want to be part of making this more accessible.
Beautiful.
And now with I didn't mention my mom too much, but she's a retired nurse, and to have her be a part of this too, and her seeing the benefit, you know, she's thinking about this in the medical profession, and I hope to be more involved with some of your other causes and organizations where I want this to be insured. I want it to be something that, like in Finland or in other Scandinavian countries, where it can be prescribed as a medicine.
Cool. Yeah, there's that moment there you reference about after you clean rinse, I call that the cold plunge or the clean rinse, and you get out. I mean, you know, people often say, hey, what's your favorite moment? And I'll ask you, like in a sauna session, like what is one of your favorite moments?
I think it's right when you're hitting almost the top of your heat max in the sauna. Even though I love the cold exposure too, there's like that tingly feeling that comes upon you. But I think it's when I'm in long enough where I feel the heat and that warmth, just it fills my body with joy.
Yeah.
how
Where you're
else
pushing
explain
right
it.
to that
Yeah.
upper edge. That's good. That's good. I thought you were going to say that moment after getting out of a cold plunge or dumping cold water.
Which I
over
love
your
that
head.
too.
Yeah.
But I do think there's like more of that full enjoyment of like I'm here. I
Yeah.
feel more at like I don't know at peace or more calm in that moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyways, I love it.
Last question for you, if you're cool,
Yeah.
and then we're going to walk around
Of
and
course.
we're gonna talk to some more folks.
People, yeah.
Who's come by here? Have there been any celebrities or media, or
Yeah.
if you want to share with listeners a little bit of the reach that
Yeah.
this village has?
Yeah, well, I mean, thanks to the Great Northern too, and their team, their talented team of on the PR side as well as just other active participants that want to share this. We've gotten some great exposure. National Geographic was here a couple weeks ago before the festival, and they were able to come and experience some of our Thermaculture programming at the Yard, which is over our new storefront now in Minneapolis by Superior Sauna and Steam. And that article just launched last week, so that's gotten some great buzz. We've had the New York Times here, both photographers as well as writers. The mayor of Minneapolis was just here, so we shared, our joint title of the mayor of Sauna Village.
Yeah.
And I had my golden ladle, and I was like, I got the golden ladle to the city of Sauna Village.
So you welcome him to the property line where he lost his title and you took over.
I accepted him in. No, but it's great because we're able to share it with people coming from all different vantage points, but we're getting a lot of great diverse range of people. I think also this weekend normally this is the coldest time of year, and so climate change is real, people. It's happening around us, and unfortunately this last weekend the pond hockey tournament was canceled. So we had a group of pond hockey guys call last night like, we traveled here from California, like the tournament's canceled, like do you have any seats available? And we're like, absolutely, come on in. So we're getting both athletes as well as people who are brand new and are just looking for something new to do during this time of year, but a lot of great press too to help spread the word. And what's fun is the buzz on like who's the capital of North America. I mean, there's a lot going on up in Duluth too, and there's some really cool things happening up there with other sauna builders that is really awesome to see. And I'm an advocate for wherever it can grow, how we can be sharing this. But we do have a lot of businesses and new pop-up experiences happening, sauna camp down in the southern part of Minnesota, so it's really cool to see that. But I think a lot of exposure is coming through this, and it's opening other people's eyes. A guy flew in from upstate New York just for an overnight, came in just for Sauna Village the other day, and a foot surgeon came up from, I think, Shakopee or somewhere further south, and she wants to start her own rental business. So she's coming to just kind of like learn about the business, but also experience it and share that love and desire firsthand.
Fantastic. Shaylin, thanks for being a part. Let's take a look around and see who we may run into.
Awesome. Let's go. Hey, Darren, can we come in?
Yeah, come on in.
This is great. This is where I wish this microphone had a recording. Shaylin, who's on the bench right here?
Well, we've got Darren here with Urban Wing, and he is
You stay
laying
down,
on.
brother.
Yeah, he's relaxing on the bench. He's been working. This is day 12.
I don't know.
I don't even know what day of Sauna Village. So he's taking a well-deserved break, a little sweat break.
And Darren, would you classify yourself as an extrovert or an introvert or a middlevert?
I'm an extroverted introvert.
And are we kind of like piercing the bubble of your introversion right now?
Are we
you
harshing
okay?
the vibe?
No, because I'm laying down and I'm relaxed.
And tell us where we are laying down. Where you're laying down.
So yeah, we're in the North Up Sauna by Urban Wing.
And this is number one of how many North Ups?
So we have 3 here at the Sauna Village. The one we're in right now is the trailered version. It's a 6x10 hot room, highway safe, roadworthy sauna. That's about 1,000 pounds tow weight. And then we have our standalone version, which is on wooden skid, and our mini, as well here.
Fantastic. And what's the vibe like? It's mellow here right now. We're getting ready. You are building potential energy for a lot of kinetic action with people showing up here soon,
Yeah,
right?
so I think we have about 30 more minutes. We're on an afternoon break right now before our next session, which we're sold out, right?
Yeah,
Shaylin?
we are 150 people every 90 minutes, but we're giving ourselves a 30-minute break in between.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got a big crowd
So
coming
there's going to be a big influx of people here, like parading
The
themselves
calm
down the
before the
hallway and just hitting various saunas, any number of one of 22.
Correct.
Amazing. Hey, Darren, I'm going to start sweating here like crazy,
Yeah.
but I wanted to give you the microphone, and I would like for you to, share anything, either a little story or anecdote of your participation here on this sauna village.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Glenn and Shaylin. So the Sauna Village is something very special, especially for me because last year I felt like it was a coming out party for the North Up. It was a hit. A lot of positive feedback, and this year we're excited that we have 3 units here, and it's been just really fun to see people, meet new people, and then there's been a lot of people that come back and they're like, hey, we remember you from last year, and it's so great to see you and how you're doing, and we've just really developed a sense of community here. So thank you, Superior and Shaylin, for putting it on.
All right, we're here again now with Excelsior Sauna. So I want to give a little intro here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, well, I'm Jim Ganino, and I started it with my best friend Leif Chernus, and about a year ago, and now we're at the Sauna Village, and we primarily build them in people's backyards or in their homes.
And this is your first foray into the sauna village.
Correct.
And I want to, like I was just saying with Darren, Darren right over your shoulder here, is I wish this microphone also had a camera, because I want people to see the Excelsior sauna. I'm staring at it right now. It's on a trailer. What's the dimension of this one right here?
So this would be an 8x20 mobile sauna. It is built very similar. We kind of wanted to showcase what we can do in people's backyards. So it's overbuilt compared to a lot of the other ones here in the sense that it's got real siding, fully insulated, Kuma stove inside, along with all cedar. So it's about an 8,000 pound rig, but it's a great way for us to be able to kind of showcase the design and build qualities we have.
Fantastic. And I can really speak to the design and build qualities. Leif is a master craftsman, I guess you could say. And
I
you
would
grew
say
up
that.
with him.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I've known him and his family since I was about 12 years old. His dad was a carpenter. He became a carpenter. He did custom homes for a really long time and did one for a sauna for a good friend of yours. Both here.
John Sabis, by the way, you can listen to his sauna talk. And
Yep.
It's right on the sauna bench.
Yep.
Leif was the master craftsman behind that.
Yeah, and decided about a year ago that he was getting a little bit burnt out building custom homes, and really got into saunas with you guys, and we decided that this is a venture we could do full time. Yeah.
Well, thanks for really leaning into this space. It's so great what you guys are doing. Can we speak a little bit to the Stillwater project and tell listeners what is this your main front project right now at the Crosby Hotel?
Yeah. So we're super excited about that. We just kind of inked things with them that we'll be planting our flag at the Crosby Hotel, building a sauna cold plunge experience that will not only showcase Excelsior saunas there, but we will be doing guided tours through the whole thing.
Right
So really going back to that, not just putting a sauna in there, but being able to book appointments, get guided tours to do the sauna, cold plunge, and the whole experience.
Yeah, Stillwater is so ripe for this because there's a lot of people that come in, a lot of tourists will come through and stuff. So wonderful showcase. What's the launch date plan for the Crosby Hotel?
So we will begin building that. We're actually just starting to order materials. We'll begin building that as soon as this show is done, with a launch date sometime in March.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How can people find you?
You can go to ExcelsiorSaunas.com to find us, or our social media at Excelsior Saunas on Instagram, Facebook, you name it.
Fantastic, brother. Can't wait to get on the bench in there with you.
Yeah,
I can feel the
absolutely.
good heat just looking through the window.
Oh, yeah.
People are digging themselves.
She's over 200 degrees right now, so it's ready to go.
Out your
Yeah, do you want
So-
to come in my ante room?
I would love to be in your anteroom. Who are we? Who are we with, and what are we doing?
All right, you're with Jessie from Bliss Mobile Wellness. I'm a nurse and female saunapreneur and new to the game, and I'm inviting you into my sauna.
And Jesse, where did we first meet?
We first met up at Kuma when I was taking a tour. Serendipitously, we met on the bench.
Like literally, and if I
literally.
could jump in, you guys came up. Were you passing through, or was it a dedicated run?
Dedicated run because we were going to get the first blue flame that was going to go to a saunapreneur, the first commercial one he was selling.
And I think I was just kind of stumbling through town. My cabin is on that lake, and it was good serendipity to run into you guys.
Yes.
I had no intention of sauning, at least on mainland. My sauna was probably prepped and ready for an afternoon sauna that day, but we all found ourselves spontaneously on the bench, didn't we?
Yes, and then finding out that we had so much in common. I do have to say I was a little bit of a fangirl on the bench. I was just like, Glenn Auermont? Because, I don't know. I've been in around sauna since 2015, and then in with 612 sauna, and I'd always kind of seen you, but you're always with the people that are kind of moving and shaking, and
Like Shaylin right here.
like Shaylin, exactly. So I just so now to be part of this group is just it's exciting.
Fabulous and very inclusive group. Shayla and I were speaking about that, the welcomeness, the rising sauna tide lifting all boats, and we referenced
Yes.
you and your background. Could you tell listeners in your own voice what your day job is and the overlap and parallel that you're finding between this practice and your day job?
Yeah, so my day job, I'm a nurse, registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 16 years and in healthcare for 26 years. And the overlap is that I found sauna because I needed it as a healthcare practitioner, as a giver of sort of myself and a holder of space for others, and I was doing a lot with the hospice work. Now I work with children with disabilities, but still just a job where I have to give of myself, and so sauna is somewhere that I can get back, and I can also find release
Beautifully said.
from the
What
work.
were you doing during COVID? Like where were is it the current hospital where you work?
No, I was actually in a hospice home, and then during COVID that shut down, and I ended up following people and helping work to help them die at their house because they didn't want to go to the hospitals. That meant you were cut off from your loved ones during COVID. If everyone remembers, the iPads and all that.
Yeah.
So then I helped to work to keep people at home.
So, how long have you been doing hospice work, particularly?
I became hospice certified back in probably 2011.
Yeah.
So up until now, I still get called to do some private duty hospice.
Wow.
For people, mostly just to honor people who want to stay at home but need 24/7 care.
Is that a side gig for you?
Yeah, just very sporadic now.
Very spread. So you have two side gigs.
Yes.
This being the second one.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of the Venn diagram overlap, to be blunt with you,
Yes.
about hospice and sauna. And I'm not so sure there could be one.
Okay, I see the overlap for me as for grief work. Actually, I'm finding that this is a wonderful space for families to come together in a hot room, and you're just kind of sweating and maybe more vulnerable. It helps break down barriers. I see a lot of overlap for healthcare workers in that space that
right.
need a place to find relief. So I'm really excited to just bring this modality to my healthcare workers, my fellow healthcare workers, and to people who are grieving.
So a two-prong overlap in a sense: the healthcare worker and then the families of people,
Of the loved ones, because I've always seen my work as not just with my hospice patient, but with their family as well. It's a whole unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. There's so many directions that can go, and it can go so deep and so wide. Is there first of all, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my website is blissmobilewellness.com. And then that's my handle also on Instagram. And you can book through my website. I'm open for rentals. So love to drop it off either for 24 hours or weekends, 2 nights, 3 days, or week-long rentals as well.
And if you could put an intention out there, or some sort of like like if you could craft the most perfect person to come to you, because this is a big endeavor, this project.
Yes.
Who not in maybe as in name, but who in title or in position could come to you to help you with this space?
Yes, I would love to work with other female entrepreneurs, people who do acupuncture, people who do meditation. Also, I'm looking for people who are in the wellness space, especially healthcare corporate, because I know that you're looking for things to offer, and I think that sauna really checks a lot of those boxes, and with my healthcare background, I'd love to connect.
So how about this magic person would be a senior executive, preferably female, just
Yes,
because,
that'd
who
be
maybe works
perfect.
for United Healthcare.
Sounds wonderful.
Who has
gets
experienced
it.
magic on the
Yes,
bench.
yes.
And she's like, I get it. And I have resources, and I want to come to you, Jesse, and help bring sauna to the healthcare industry.
That
Now,
would
how
be
about
my
that
dream.
intention?
That would be, that's my dream come true, Glenn. You got it. You put it out in words.
We're putting it out, right out there. So
Yeah.
any of you listening that are in the healthcare space, and I talk about the world of insurance, need not be. It could be hospitals themselves, but
Correct.
the idea of bringing this to the healthcare community, to me, is
We need to heal the healers. They are
healers.
they are not not everyone is well in that space, and it's because a lot has been asked and continues to be asked of. So yeah, I think sauna
I love
is
that.
one way.
Can we set that up? Can you send me this is this a photo? Perfect. Can you send this photo out, and I just want to caption it as Heal the Healers. I think
Yes.
that's a beautiful.
One of just the two of you.
Yeah, thanks. We're Heal the Healers with Jesse. That's great. And Bliss Mobile. We're finding bliss. Any final
right.
words to listeners of Sauna Talk? This was really impactful. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you, Glenn. No, I'm just appreciative.
What's up?
Who do we have, and what are you doing right now?
This is John Peterson, and I'm hooking up some new speakers before all the guests arrive.
Oh, that's great.
I got my priorities in check.
This is and I'll walk with you. I'll walk
We're doing
with
a
you.
sauna talk right
Yes,
now?
right here, live and
Right
direct,
here.
but it's going to be broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I want to get a photo of us. I mean, there's some magical photo. Well, here we can do we'll get somebody, but I want to capture this moment
Yeah.
because this is you, literally behind the scenes running wires.
I'm literally standing behind the scenes running some speaker wires because I've just been thinking the sound's pretty good, but wouldn't it be great if it was just fantastic?
Well,
for
you're
the next
speaking
round?
my
We got
language.
150 people showing up, and we have great sound over at your sauna every time we're there. These people deserve good sound with their sauna.
And that's part of the. This is part of the. I don't know. This is so kind of symbolic in a way to see you behind the scenes running speaker wire. This is what you do. You are a sauna craftsman, and you like to. I don't want to speak for you, but this is your
There's a lot
zone,
of-
right?
There's a lot of behind the scenes work that that goes into it, as you very well know.
Yeah, I do.
Especially
But
especially for a public event like this, right?
But I've always said that this is the scarcity, like those willing to put it out there all the time and, do this work behind the scenes. Like the front of the scene is a joy, and
Yeah.
we've talked about that, is
Yeah.
to see people, to share this with people who get jazzed up and excited, pouring water over their head between rounds is its own reward.
It is, and it fuels the behind the scenes work. There's a lot of work that you have, other work where people do behind the scenes work where they don't get that fun, joyful inspiration all the time. So
Okay, so for listeners, how long have I known you, and how did we meet?
let's see. I met you, must have been 2012, I think, when I started working on the the firehouse. And I reached out to you. I remember stumbling across your blog because I got this crazy idea to turn this tiny house I was building into a sauna, and I had no idea where to start. And I sent you an email out of the blue, and to my surprise, you fired me an email right back and said, let's get together for coffee.
Yeah.
And
well, just to put that in context, back then, it was a great joy to receive an email out of the blue where somebody was interested in sauna.
there was very few resources either. I was, it was such a joy to find your website and those resources, because there was nobody doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you and I have so much in common, not just similar taste in music or love of this sauna thing, but our background and our contagiousness came from the ye old country, and we were both students at the time, and in an impressionable time in our lives, and we each caught the sauna bug.
Yeah, well, the sauna bug, and but also the culture that the sauna, that hospitality over there, and the way that people were such a low-key, laid-back type of hospitality, just deep hospitality. There was no Instagram back then. There was no flexing anything. There was just this radical kindness where I just remember thinking, wow, people are still like this, and I mean, they're like this at all. It's the kind of thing you read about in books, but it felt like another dimension of cool, another dimension of kindness that was, kind of defied the social media kind of like high points, right? It was deep.
Yeah,
it was like, it would surprise you. It would creep up and you'd be like, wait, why did you do that? I didn't even ask for that.
I think the word, if I could, I think the word that comes to mind is sort of this unconditional.
Yeah.
For the love of it, like this is something I dig, you dig it, if you like to dig it.
And isn't this great? We just get to do this and have this time together, and there was nothing in it for anyone other than we all get to feel great together. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It should be that simple, right?
Yeah. We're getting a critical mass here, where we're starting to have those moments here and there where I get to when I'm not behind the scenes and running around doing stuff. There's more and more of those moments here these days where I'm just surprised by somebody else doing something nobody asked for, nobody's watching, but I'll just catch them, especially here in the sauna village. Those moments are starting to happen, but it takes a long time and a lot of work just to create the kind of environment where there's that kind of opportunity, for people to step up in that way.
So well said, and so many ways to spin that around, and I think it has to do, if I could, with this sense of community amongst these hosts and saunapreneurs.
Yeah.
There's that.
There's that.
And it's a magical thing that people are sharing this together, and they're sharing the revenue in this together, and to be able to craft a model that works for people, because it's hard, right? This is a lot of work.
It's hard, it's messy, and it's a model, but it's really more of like a bunch of people pitching in to do something that we can't plan this. We can plan all we want, but the thing that really makes this pop off in the way that's made it such a hit is people just stepping up in all these surprising, fantastic ways that, the kinds of things where if you would ask people to do it ahead of time, you'd kind of, it's like asking too much.
Yeah.
But you still create something that's just got this kind of momentum, and it's this kind of just unique opportunity, and people step up in these ways that it reminds me of art, music, right? People get inspired, and I'm bringing these speakers down. These are my speakers. I just want to have, for this next session, we got 150 people showing up, and the sound last session, it was not so great.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm just going to make it. Nobody asked me to do it.
Yeah.
And
there's no gold star attached.
No gold star attached, but I think it'll make a difference.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Any final words for listeners of Sauna Talk?
Come on down to the Sauna Village.
Right on. The man behind the scenes, literally. Who am I standing with?
Oh, this is Phil at Nomad Sauna.
And Phil, what do you have to say about this? You haven't sought out any gold stars for your behind-the-scenes performance here.
Not quite. I think what I popped in and heard from John here is spot on. I think that it's cool to see how everyone shows up, and what that is with a lot of businesses in the same field, and yet it feels so collective and so natural, and everyone's super supportive here. And I think that it's a really cool, unique aspect of what Minneapolis has to bring to this, culture.
It is somewhat unique. We talk about the craft brewing revolution in the Northwest. Hey, they grow great hops. I mean, we grow great heat. And I think that as this thing is evolving, and there's buds of this sprouting all over North America, but we really are laying claim to something magical in our town here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think it's pretty cool to watch this concept of what is so prevalent here and all the curators of what people are doing start to trickle all throughout the U.S., and I think we've got a little hub of a lot of different concepts.
Right on. And people are coming here, literally getting on airplanes to come to the Sauna Village and to Minnesota. Have you experienced this? Have you talked to anybody?
I want to turn the microphone around and ask you a question, Glenn.
Please.
I mean, did you ever dream of this when, 10 years ago when you and I were at the Hack Factory, building a sauna? Did you ever think Minneapolis would be the epicenter of this, this sauna revival?
I think if it was going to happen somewhere, it was pretty clear that it would happen here, because I was interviewed somewhere and we were trying to distill it, and I came and see now the pressure's on, but I came up with 3 reasons why the stars would align that this would be the place.
Right.
And the first, it would have to be topography, because we are the land of 10,000 lakes and 10,000 cold plunges. And the second being the weather, right? Like, you and I have talked about this. I think I even wrote a post, John, about you were saying how spring is your favorite sauna season.
And it's like spring today in January.
It is.
Isn't this great sauna weather?
And this is great sauna weather. I couldn't think of I couldn't craft a more perfect sauna weather day. I mean, we can see our breath. It's in the 30s. There's no sun.
Yeah.
But, you have this lampa massa of cold, and it's just such a welcome climate for sauna. So I would say that's the second reason. We have beautiful weather for sauna here, and we have a backbone of ethnicity. We have this whole Nordic ancestry within us, and people brought sauna with them from the old country.
So you saw it coming.
Well, I wouldn't say I saw this coming. I mean, and I'll have to be candid. I will just share with listeners here, and you two guys right here. Back in the day, to me, this space was like riding a bike on a country road. And if you'd see somebody else like you, we would wave and we would ride together in a Peloton and have a great bike ride. I still feel like I'm on that bike, but now I am on Highway 35W in rush hour. And sometimes it's really a busy road. And I've kind of, or a band, we've seen bands at the 400 Club or 7th Street Entry, and now they're playing at, Target Field. And some of that growth is, quite candidly, a little bit hard for me as an old soldier.
Yeah.
It's a long-winded answer to a good question.
Yeah. I mean, the growth these last few years has been, amazing to see. And, where it's going to be 10 years from now. I mean, that's where I get really jazzed, is thinking about, you talk a lot about authentic sauna, right? And, authentic thermic bathing in North America, once we have enough people, once we do it for long enough and we have enough people who understand good heat and who've tried a number of things and who've, Sauna Village is a great place to compare different types of saunas, different ways of sauning, different styles of, doing that cold plunge and the hot plunge, and different places kind of coming into their own groove, their own flow, and different cities in North America, like it is in Europe, really having their own flavor. I think that's going to be really cool to see, and it's going to be so fun to travel around North America, and it's not going to be just chains of sauna. It's going to be real microcultures of authentic thermic bathing. I think that's what we've...
An artistic approach to the product and the practice.
Yeah, you bring up microbrewing a lot. It's just a great analogy. I think that's what we've really... a lot of, I credit you for the good heat and experience, really starting with some quality, some deep understanding of what's at play. What are these elements? Because that empowers people. It definitely empowered me to freestyle a little bit and to figure out what do I want to carry forward, and then what do I want to elaborate on. We joke about music a lot, right? Part of it is I'm a music head, but part of it too is kind of zhuzhing these social sauna is a kind of a new territory, right? And it's something that I have a lot of experience with. And we talk about vibration of heat, we talk about lampu masa, but having sound that kind of fits the vibe and kind of also soothes the moment, because there's a lot of awkward moments in a parking lot with mobile saunas and
nakedness,
gravel,
or almost nakedness, and
all
foreign
different
people.
types of people, and
Yeah.
being able to mix that all together in a good way. Music for me, that's what music is for me in the sauna space, specifically in a public sauna space. But it just fits into like mixing things together in a good way.
And I take note of that. Like I brought that up to folks. Truthfully, like the music, it flows. It's on point, and it's very merging. You curate a space, and you have all these elements coming together, and like music is a very important thing, and whatever that is. What you play here, John, is, I think, it suits and it fits and it creates this environment that feels right, and it doesn't feel mainstream. That sounds kind of like an overused term, but it doesn't feel like you're trying to hit a topic that's relevant to this. You're pulling something that you I think are coming from like an authentic space.
Something that fits, right?
Yeah.
It's like it fits it goes good, it pairs well with good heat.
Mm-hmm.
Pairs well with good people.
This is a great tune right here, right
What
now.
is this, Ethiopic?
Yeah, Ethiopic. Very good. Yeah, with just
I
the
can't hear-
piano.
is that what it is?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And drawing that analogy, John, you've been very careful about not hitching your wagon to one particular country or culture. You've presented this practice agnostically to and openly to other cultures. Do you want to speak about that and your philosophy to that?
Yeah, well, I am 100% Nordic. I just don't lead with that, because that's not when I got really jazzed about this, and you remember this, when I begged you to take me to the Sweat Summit out in California, literally hounded you to take me out there, was when I realized it was this super light bulb moment. I was in a dark night of the soul, existential crisis, just trying to think I wanted to throw down on something. I wanted to just live passionately about something. And when I realized that sauna was one of many thermic bathing traditions from around the world, that this is something between a science and an art and a medicine that people have been practicing and finding the best way to fit it into their culture, from Finland's sauna, banya in Russia, hammam in Turkey, sweat lodge, of course, in this land, temescal, Central America, onsen in Japan. When I realized it hasn't really been in urban North America, modern urban North America, we haven't really taken that on in a real serious, and there's an opportunity there for a new frontier. Mm-hmm. And I was going to be a monk or go
I remember that.
I was having like an into the wild moment.
Yeah.
And I realized,
that's right.
but all that seemed really contrived, and I was like, oh, this is something I can take my entrepreneurial background. I can take my, interest in, it's elemental too, right? And my interest in doing something that's healing, but something that's also, I'm not so new agey either. Mm-hmm. So it's grounded.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Yeah.
But it also, you don't have to be in your head to be like, this works. This isn't some kind of, you got to talk yourself into it with some kind of new agey, lingo. This is just, you sit in there and it's like something happened. And to me, I was like, wow, this is a real frontier of wellness, and I'm also ambitious and entrepreneurial, and I can bring all of that into it. I felt like I could bring everything into it, and it was social and just fun. And to get back to its roots, it's a very casual, understated type of medicine and social experience, right? It's way better than you can even kind of put into words, and I like that about it. I like that in this age of selfies and social media and me, it has this spirit of, yeah, you can do that or not, and it's going to be good either way. but it's not. It doesn't need that to be what it is.
Well,
And
now
I
you-
trusted that. I
Gosh,
trusted that deeply.
This is like the old days where we get going and never stop, because let me hit the ball back into the court of this non-prescriptiveness to
Yeah.
the practice, call it. I mean, even that word is not right.
Yeah.
This thing we do.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you can go on some of these other websites and stuff, and they're talking about the hot and cold and the maximization of this and the optimization of that. But what you're kind of talking about here, John, is like people you've used this term like meeting, like you can meet the heat,
Yeah.
and you can meet the cold where it's right for you.
Yeah.
And it's this chill like passive way, and you don't have to go at it with such prescription.
Yeah, I think there's a real. I think for me, that's the sweet spot, and I think that's the thread that connects all the different thermic bathing traditions, and that's the core of the exploration of all of the guided programming that I lead at Thermaculture, and now with Superior through the Thermaculture program, is an investigation into responding to the intensity of the hot and the cold, but doing so in a way where you stay in your parasympathetic nervous system, right? How intense what intensity can you expose yourself to, but stay in that breath-based parasympathetic nervous system without going to that Instagrammy, sympathetic adrenaline, fight or flight, look at me, which is cool. We love that. However, I think that what has kept these traditions at the center of individual and community wellness for thousands of years hasn't been that high note. I think what it's been is that moment of deep relaxed energy that comes when your body's thermoregulatory system kicks in, because the circulation starts going and you feel both awake and relaxed at the same time, and you reprogram your body's conditioned response to intensity, because we all know that carries off the bench too, right? Suddenly you have an extra second when you feel that intensity, some anger pops up, somebody cuts you off in traffic. That millisecond that you have before you respond to that intensity, that can save your life. That can save countless dollars and countless heartache. And I think that medicine is at the heart of all the different thermic bathing traditions, and that's why they work in different elements that just work it into the culture and into the social situation, whether it's music or whether it's just beautiful nature or whether it's beautiful rituals and singing. But it does it in a way that's appropriate to the time and the place, in a way that people can trust and they can relax and they can melt.
Beautiful.
And they can receive it.
Right on. That space, that wedge between stimulus and response.
Yes.
We need to expand that.
What do you call that? You call it the rubber. Don't you have a post on that called the rubber band theory?
Yeah.
That's kind of related to that.
Absolutely.
Where you talk about stretching out the hot and the cold rounds.
Right.
I think that's the same practice.
Yeah, right. And we've talked about the jackrabbiting.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's another thing, is about listening to your core, not your skin.
Yes.
Right, and starting to get to know where you are with these extremes of climate.
Yes.
And when we can push ourselves, but in such a beautiful way, of listening to the core.
Yes.
Because, you go outside, and this is when we talk about the 3 reasons why Minnesota is the epicenter of sauna, and we talk about the weather. We're hardy people, and it doesn't matter where. But when we feel a cold wind blowing right through us, and we're pretty much naked, and our skin is all wet, we're like, wait a minute, it feels like I gotta go get hot, but where am I at in there? And you listen to your core, and you're like, it builds the strength. So when someone cuts you off on the road, you're like, you can smile right through it.
Yeah, it's a soft strength, but it's a real strength.
Yeah,
and
man, brother.
because there's power in that moment.
Power in that moment.
And that's
beautiful.
And strength. It's one thing to tell people don't jackrabbit, right? But again, some of the method to the madness of all this stuff, whether it's music or the ambiance that we work really hard to create ambiance and to create just stretch. You can create environments where people just want to linger. They want to sit out, and you don't have to tell them what to do, because there's also, again, to go back to the Nordic countries, only the Nordic people over here will tell you how to sauna. Over there, they're just so cool. You just want to do it like them, right? And they don't tell you what to do.
You touched on something really important about what you do, about curating spaces, and the idea of creating a space, this third space of sauna, not the hot, not the cold, but this third
transitional space.
Transition, expanding the vibe there, so people unconsciously get their body cooled.
Yes.
And their core cooled.
Yes, and then when you don't have to, when you create an environment where they can just bump into it, it also becomes more trustworthy because they discovered it. It wasn't because somebody told them and they did it right.
Not like it isn't the protocol of 38 minutes and cool down, otherwise your brown fat isn't actualized.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's that because then you also get that discovery, and that discovery is the heart of the joy of discovering something that's just better than you even remembered possible that you could feel, and that joy is such an important part of sauna.
So it's not prescriptive joy, it's empathetic.
It's discovery joy. It's real joy, right?
Right on. Thank you, JP. We could go on and on.
Hey,
I mean, this is
we're
incredible.
We're overdue for some of that.
Holy heck, this was like a flash course with John Peterson right here at the Sauna Village with Phil from Nomad. And Phil, I wish, this is the third time now where I wish this little recording device had the video with the audio, because I'd love to spin this around, and if you could just describe for listeners what we're looking at over your left shoulder.
We're looking at a lot of stuff going on right now, but what we brought to the yard here, the space, is a 20-foot long by 6.5-foot diameter barrel sauna, mobile barrel sauna, the largest barrel on wheels.
Largest barrel on wheels. And your background with sauna goes back, you're from Minneapolis.
I'm from Minneapolis. I'm actually Lithuanian, so I am also very Nordic in culture. And piggybacking quickly on what John said is, I just felt an energy when I really didn't have a good knowledge on what was going on in Minneapolis, but I built a sauna in the backyard of my community house in Minneapolis, and somebody planted a seed of maybe having one on wheels to transport, and in 15 minutes I decided I was going to make a business out of it because it felt so right, and I had no idea in 2018 what it was going to happen, and here we are today.
And we were together. Those regular listeners of Sauna Talk have heard my story with your partner down in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
the sauna world is cyclical,
It's
much like your saunas.
very much so.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Any final words, listeners of Sauna Talk? I want to get on the bench, but I love talking to you guys, literally behind the scenes, behind the Sauna Village. You want to take us out, Phil? Any final words to listeners to the podcast about this event?
I would say if anyone's able to come check this out in the future or now, this is something very special that is an experience to be had, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
So, listeners of Sauna Talk, I'd like to introduce you to Matt. Matt, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm from Superior Sauna and Steam. I've been with them for about 10 years, and we try to build saunas for anybody who wants them.
And you're like one of the, how many people are with you answering the phone up there? Is it 4 and you?
We have, I think, 6 in our office now and 8 in our shop.
Got it. And I wanted to kind of put you on the spot because those listening may be in a position to want to build a sauna or order some sauna components. What is a typical day in the life for you up there in Ashland, Wisconsin?
Normal day in the life for me is just answering people's questions and trying to get them what they need.
Yeah. What is if you had to say 10 people, like the last 10 people that you've spoken with, customers, is there a common or more popular question or inquiry or line of need if you had to kind of distill it?
Honestly, it's all over the place.
Okay.
Everybody is looking for something different, and a lot of people don't even know what they're looking for other than a sauna, and they just want help.
What % of those are thinking that something that isn't sauna is in fact sauna? Do you get any of those wild card questions?
I don't know if we do get those, but yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah.
They want either steam and they think it's sauna, or they want dry, but at the end of the day, most of them just want to have heat therapy.
Yeah, right on. And how long are you down here in the Sauna Village for?
I am actually leaving tonight. We will be down here through the 4th. I will probably come back next weekend, but we'll see what the schedule holds.
Fantastic. So, Matt, how can people find? Do you want people to call you, or who do you want them to call up?
They're
and
just
ask
going to
for?
want to call the sales department. I don't do too much in sales anymore unless they're overbooked, but
Or a crazy question.
yeah.
Tell me a
everyone-
crazy question you've gotten where they've appealed to the higher authority.
Well, I do more with the electrical than some of the salespeople, and then some of the venting questions can get a little crazy sometimes, so I
Yeah.
deal with some of those as well.
There you go. That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
I can relate, brother.
Oh, yeah.
I can relate. So, who am I standing with?
Oh, Margaret from the Atacama Sauna.
And Margaret, how old is your sauna?
About 5 years.
And Margaret, I have to put you on the spot, and I
Oh,
hope you're
geez.
okay with that.
Oh,
You-
I hope it's an easy one.
Welcome.
We're actually at capacity. But the world is your oyster. And keep looking around.
I have to put you on the spot as an early adopter into
Yeah.
this space.
Oh, boy.
What compelled you to want to have your own mobile sauna?
Actually, it's a funny story. So I'm from Minnesota, but I didn't grow up in sauna culture. We didn't have a cabin up north or any of that. But I am a massage therapist. So when my hands got really tired after working so many hours, I went back to something I learned in school of putting your hands in ice water and then putting your hands in as warm a water as you can. 30 seconds in each, back and forth. And then my hands felt brand new. And I was like, oh. So this is what people are talking about when it comes to sauna. Okay.
Sort of a contrast therapy gig.
Correct.
Yeah, and it started with the cold that is intense work with your hands and massage and stuff. And so is this known in the world of in massage therapy, this cold water?
They better know it.
Yeah.
They better know it now.
Yeah. But do you think that, if you ran into, say, 10 of your colleagues, do you think most would know about this?
Only because sauna culture is where it's at right now.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they wouldn't. You know who I have recommended it to? Hairstylists, surgeons. So people who use their hands a lot. I've recommended it to them frequently.
The cold hand thing specifically, or?
Going hot to cold.
Yeah.
Always recommending
Yeah.
hot and cold.
Do you have your sauna out? It's Golden Valley, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your practice and the sauna as it relates to it, or separate from it?
Absolutely. So what I, getting a lot of good steam here at the village.
How's the heat in there?
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So I like to put people in the sauna for about 30 minutes, let them do their rounds, and then I would like to get them on my table, and I just sink right in.
Yeah.
So that it's wonderful.
I have to interject
Yes,
on that.
please.
So do you know right away if somebody has had a sauna round before your hands hit their back?
If they're really sweaty, that kind of gives it away right away. It does give it away right away.
Yeah.
But what I know, on certain clients, if they have really chronic back issues, neck issues, it's night and day. It really is night and day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, at my space, I provide private sauna sessions, and what I like to do is also offer bolsters so that people can get into pretty much restorative yoga poses and just be held and get back into their bodies instead of hanging out in their head. It's just, I really want it to be like a healing therapeutic space for people.
So how can people find you, and where can you share your website? Go ahead.
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's Atacama Sauna, but the website is pucon-massage.com. So PUCON-massage.com.
Great. Thanks for being at the village, huh? Are you digging it?
It's a dream. Glenn, let me tell you this. So remember the first winter when COVID was happening, I was hosting sauna and I wasn't doing massage.
Right.
And I miss hosting sauna so much.
Really?
This is filling my heart with so much joy. I absolutely am back in my happy place.
Oh, that's
really.
so great to
It's
hear.
so true.
What is it that, I have to ask you one more on that. Like, what is it that you are, how would you distill this joy? Like, where's it coming from?
It's the energy it gives me in the hustle bustle of setting up the sauna and getting the fire ready and providing a space that people are really going to enjoy and want to be in. And then I'm an educator at heart. You know that.
Right.
I'm a burnt out middle school math teacher. So when people have questions, I've got answers.
Beautiful.
A gal over here has opinions as well, but
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
try to be strategic about how
Very hard.
how I
Yeah.
say
Well,
those things.
I have to say, looking around here, you are an early adopter to this in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, and it kind of comes full circle. Here you are amongst 21 other saunas,
Oh, it's a dream.
and I think yours is the oldest. I'd have to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't that awesome?
I love it. I love it. Well, you and I both knew this is what was going to happen. This was what's going to happen. What did you say? The revolution will be televised?
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. You sure did. You sure did.
Right.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I mean,
here we
it's
are.
reached a tipping point of acceptability and popularity, wouldn't you say?
Well, and we're providing beautiful, hygienic, safe spaces for people to take a sauna. What more could you ask for? What more could you ask for?